Hello everyone, today we are going to be learning the language of chemistry and we are going to be learning about the chemical reactions and we will by the end of the chapter we will be able to identify the names of these reactants and even the products of different chemical reactions, and even we can write a chemical reaction in the form of chemical word equation. And we can also recognize the usefulness of a word equation. So let's get started. So chemical reaction. So I'll just start with writing. So we are going to be learning right now, which is chemical reaction. What is this chemical reaction? Any chemical change in matter. So any chemical change in matter which involves its transformation into one or more new substances is called chemical reaction. So we are going to be writing any chemical change in matter which involves its transformation into one or more new substances. So one or more new substances. We are going to be writing the enter over here. Yeah. Any chemical change which involves its transformation into one or more new substances is a chemical reaction. So any chemical change in matter which involves its transformation and it gets transformed into one or even more new substances. What is the transformation? That's called as chemical reaction. Transformation of matter into one or more new substances is a chemical reaction. The example of chemical reaction is the burning of a candle. So if we burn a candle, that will be an example of a chemical reaction. So we are going to be writing an example is burning of candle. So this is the example. The example is burning of candle. So now what are reactants and what are products? Reactants are the substances that undergo chemical changes. Substances that undergo chemical changes are called reactants. And products. What are products? The new substances. The new substances which is formed, let's write is, or are formed, are called products. So what are reactants? What are products? Substances that undergo chemical changes are called reactants, and a product, the new substances which is a product, that is known as the product. The new substances which is formed is called as the product. So now reactants, so both reactants and products are pure substances. So over here, this is a good method. If we do this and then this, so this and these are called as reactants. So over here, what you see is called as the reactants and also the product. So this and this, these both are the pure substances. Both are pure substances. So both are these are pure substances, and which we can also say which is elements and compounds. Now, what happens to the reactants during a chemical reaction? What happens to it? During a chemical reaction, the atoms of the reacting molecules rearrange themselves to form one or more products. So, during a chemical reaction, if the atoms, which atoms? The atoms of the reacting molecules, when they rearrange themselves, they form one or more new products. So, when the atoms of the chemical reaction um, rearrange themselves, they form themselves in the form of one or more products. So I didn't learn this, so let me revise this again and again. During a chemical reaction, atoms of reacting molecules rearrange themselves in the form of one or more new products. During a chemical reaction, atoms of the reacting molecules rearrange themselves in the form of one or more products. Atoms of a molecule rearrange themselves to form one or more new products. Yes, atoms of molecule rearrange themselves. So this is what happens to the reactants during a chemical reaction. Now, example. So the example is this. So now, as I was saying, the example. What is the example? The element hydrogen and oxygen react with each other to form a completely new substance. What is this completely new substance? This completely new substance is none other than water. So the elements such as hydrogen and oxygen, they react. They react completely. They react completely with each other. They form a totally new substance, which is water. Hydrogen, oxygen react. Water. That's a chemical reaction. What happens during it? Now, so hence hydrogen and oxygen are the reactants, and water is that product. Now, when we write the names of the reactants and products to express chemical reaction, it is called a word equation. When we write names of reactants, names of the reactants, names of the products, they express a chemical reaction that is called as word equation. So the atoms of oxygen and hydrogen in their molecules rearrange themselves to form water molecules. So atoms of hydrogen and oxygen, when they join together, one atom molecule is made. Now, what is another example? If you want like a complex example, here it is. There are three more examples to tell you. Two compounds, which is sodium oxide and water, when they react chemically, they give a new, compound. What is this new compound? This is called sodium hydroxide. Now, upon heating the element compound, upon heating the compound mercuric oxide changes into two elements. What are these two elements? Mercury and oxygen. So, the ways of writing the formula, like that. So, now potassium chlorate, a compound, when changes into two new substances on heating a compound potassium chloride and an element oxygen. Potassium chlorate on heating becomes potassium chloride or oxygen. Thus, uh, I didn't tell you. So, potassium chloride, a compound, when it changes into two new substances on heating, a compound potassium chloride and element oxygen. So, potassium chloride, when on heat, becomes potassium chloride and oxygen. Thus, a chemical reaction may involve a combination of two or more elements or compounds reacting with each other to form a new compound, or it may involve splitting of a compound into two, or there can be even more elements or compounds. It also involves reaction between an element and a compound or two compounds to give more than one product. So, whenever a chemical change occurs, we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place. Characteristics of occurrence of chemical reactions. How will you recognize that a chemical reaction has taken place? There can be many forms, which can be, one is a change of color. So this is most of the videos when you see the pictures when red substance is mixed with, like, um, blue is mixed with green. I'm just giving you a random examples. When blue is mixed with green, it forms yellow, something like that. So when if you one proper example and change in color is, which is in some chemical reaction, change of color takes place when reactants from the products. So we are going to be writing this down as well, as it will help in revision. How will you recognize that a chemical reaction has taken place? So there are many factors, like number one, which you see is the change in color. Number two, which you see, is the evolution of a gas. So number one is change in color. Number two is evolution of gas. Evolution of gas is when some chemical reactions are characterized by the evolution of gas, which can be recognized by effervescence. So effervescence, which we can call bubbles in simple language, or we can do in smell and color. So an evolution of gas is occurred. Now, a formation of a precipitate. So you know what precipitate is? We do write it down in the comments. Formation of a precipitate. Number 4 on our list is, drum roll please, change in state. So change in state is the fourth, and the change of state is observed in many chemical reactions. The reactant So sorry for the gap. As I was saying, there's a change in state. The change of state is observed in many chemical reactions. The reactant may be solid, liquid, which changes into a gaseous product, or vice versa. It can be vice versa. So when hydrogen gas is burnt in oxygen gas, it results in the formation of water. Water is a liquid under normal conditions. Now, next is the change of smell. Wait, I didn't write number 4, which is the change in state. That means solid into liquid, liquid into gas, gas into solid, like that. Gas into liquid, something like that. Okay, now the change in smell is our number 5. Change of smell. So now, so as I was saying again, sorry for the gap. Now I was in the change of smell. During some chemical reactions, a strong smell is experienced. So this is the change of smell. Okay, so the book which we are using right now is Concise Chemistry, Middle School, Class 7 by Selena. So now, number 6, which is the change of energy. Okay, so change of energy. Some people might not understand. So let me make it clear. Chemical reactions which are mostly accompanied by a change in energy. Energy, what are the examples? Which is the change in heat, change of light. So all this we call a complex word which is energy. Change of heat, change of light, right, like that. Now, I'll give you an example as well. Uh, the most easiest one which I can give is when water is added to quicklime, a large amount of heat energy is evolved. This might come. So a large amount of heat energy is evolved. There are 3. So I'll just give you one because this is the simplest one. You can also say that magnesium burns in air, oxygen giving a white dazzling light to produce compound magnesium oxide. This, if you can learn, this can also be learned. This might be easy. That when coal or charcoal burns in air, both the heat and light are produced along with the gas carbon dioxide. Now, energy can also be absorbed. Yes. There are 2 examples, and the most simplest one. This can be related to science as well. So, in photosynthesis, sunlight is absorbed by green plants to prepare carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and water. So, this is the change of energy. Now, this is all. The 6th one. Now, conditions necessary for chemical reactions. So, the conditions necessary for chemical reactions are: number 1 is close contact. Close contact. These are the conditions necessary for a reaction to take place. If this is not there, a reaction will not take place, shall not take place. So, for a chemical reaction to take place, the reactants must come to close contact. It's not like one is like in another beaker only, one is in another beaker only. They both are very far away. No, that will not happen. They should be very close to each other, not separated by something. So they should be mixed in like one beaker. They should be in one beaker. Then only there will be close contact, and we can also say they should be mixed. When they are mixed, then only then only a chemical reaction will take place. Number 2 is the solution form. Like without contact, no reaction takes place. This is in close contact, sorry. Without contact, no reaction takes place. Therefore, in the laboratory, if you have observed, sodium is cooled in kerosene oil to prevent its contact even with moisture, because that can react. Now, solution form. Some substances react with each other only when they are mixed. If they are mixed, then only they can react and be solution form. So close contact. Number 2 is solution form. Number 3 is heat. This will be easier, so I prefer you to say heat. You can also say close contact solution form if you can learn it. Heats. Some substances need to be heated to undergo chemical change. And number 4. Number 4 is light. This can also be learned. Actually, all of them are very easy. You can learn them all just in case they ask, like, give all the 5. There are 5. And the final one, drum roll, is catalyst. So catalyst is the final one. What is a catalyst? Some chemicals need a catalyst to speed or slow down the reaction. Light is when substances, some reactants take place in the presence of light. So this is it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and we are going to be learning next time, which is the chemical equations, the steps to be involved in writing the chemical equation, need to balance chemical equation, and that will be it for the chapter. We are going to be learning this all in part 2 of the video. So thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share this video if you liked it to your friends. Okay, goodbye.